The Cogitating Ceviché presents The Lasso Way, Why Execution Outshines Premise in Great Stories. By Gio Marin. Narration by Amazon Polly. Introduction. In storytelling, the premise often grabs our initial attention. Whether it's a novel, a TV show, a movie, or a stage play, the core idea promises something new, exciting, or profound. However, it is not the premise that ultimately determines the success of a story, it is the execution. This principle holds true regardless of whether the premise is novel and unique, old and tired, or even utterly ridiculous. Take Ted Lasso, for example. The idea of an American college football coach managing a British soccer team sounds absurd. Yet, Ted Lasso has become a beloved television masterpiece through exceptional storytelling, character development, and a perfect blend of humor and heart. This article will explore how great execution can elevate any story, using Ted Lasso as our primary example. We will also examine instances where good premises suffered from poor execution, and where tired premises were brought to life through excellent storytelling. Ted Lasso, a case study in exceptional execution. Premise. Ted Lasso centers on an American college football coach, Ted Lasso, who is unexpectedly hired to manage a struggling British soccer team, despite having no experience with the sport. On the surface, this premise sounds absurd and unlikely to sustain interest. Execution. What sets Ted Lasso apart is its exceptional execution. The show shines through its heartwarming storytelling, deep character development, and a consistently positive tone. Ted Lasso himself, portrayed by Jason Sudeikis, is an embodiment of optimism and kindness. The writing balances humor with poignant moments, allowing viewers to form deep connections with the characters. Each episode builds on the last, weaving a compelling and emotionally resonant narrative. The result is a critically acclaimed show that has garnered a dedicated fan base and numerous awards. The genius of Ted Lasso lies in its ability to take a seemingly outlandish premise and ground it in authentic human experiences. The characters are richly developed, each with their own arcs that explore themes of redemption, personal growth, and the power of community. Ted's relentless positivity and belief in his players create a ripple effect, transforming the team and everyone around him. The show's humor is another crucial element of its success. It's not just about laugh-out-loud moments, but about humor that stems from genuine interactions and character-driven situations. This humor is often juxtaposed with moments of vulnerability and sincerity, creating a balance that keeps viewers engaged and invested in the characters' journeys. Moreover, Ted Lasso's execution is meticulously crafted to resonate emotionally. The show doesn't shy away from tackling serious issues such as mental health, divorce, and personal failure, but it does so with a touch of hope and resilience that underscores the overall narrative. This blend of lightheartedness and depth makes the show entertaining and profoundly moving. Ted Lasso exemplifies how exceptional execution can turn a seemingly ridiculous premise into a beloved and acclaimed story. It's a testament to the power of good storytelling and the importance of execution in making a narrative resonate with its audience. Absurd premises well executed. The Good Place. Premise. A woman finds herself in a utopian afterlife known as the Good Place by mistake, and tries to hide her morally imperfect past to avoid being sent to the bad place. Execution. The Good Place excels through clever writing, engaging characters, and philosophical depth. Despite its seemingly outlandish premise, the show explores profound themes of morality, ethics, and personal growth in a humorous and thought-provoking way. The central character, Eleanor Shellstrop, portrayed by Kristen Bell, is initially self-centered and morally dubious. However, her journey towards self-improvement and redemption is both relatable and inspiring. The series, created by Michael Schur, uses its fantastical setting to delve into ethical dilemmas and questions about being a good person. The unexpected plot twists and character developments keep the narrative fresh and engaging, with each season building on the last to create a rich and evolving story. The show's balance of humor and deep philosophical questions has made it a critical and popular success. BoJack Horseman. Premise: an animated series about a washed-up anthropomorphic horse who was once the star of a 90s sitcom, now struggling with addiction, depression, and his fading fame. Execution: BoJack Horseman combines absurd humor with deep, often dark explorations of mental health, fame, and personal responsibility. The show balances its bizarre premise with sharp social commentary and complex character arcs. BoJack, voiced by Will Arnett, is a deeply flawed character whose journey through personal crises is both tragic and darkly comedic. The series doesn't shy away from addressing issues such as substance abuse, depression, and the quest for meaning in a superficial Hollywood culture. Creator Raphael Bob Waxberg's writing is both poignant and irreverent, making the show resonate with viewers on multiple levels. Its ability to tackle serious issues with a mix of irreverence and sensitivity has earned it critical acclaim and a dedicated following. These examples demonstrate how even the most absurd premises can be transformed into compelling and meaningful stories through thoughtful and creative execution. By focusing on strong character development, engaging storytelling, and deeper thematic elements, shows like The Good Place and BoJack Horseman succeed in turning seemingly ridiculous concepts into profound and entertaining narratives. Good premises with poor execution. Jupiter Ascending. Premise: this sci-fi epic presents a universe where interstellar politics and genetic engineering create a backdrop for a grand adventure. Execution: despite its intriguing premise, Jupiter Ascending faltered due to a convoluted plot, underdeveloped characters, and a visual style that overwhelmed rather than complemented the story. The film's potential was lost in its messy execution. The Wachowskis, known for their visually stunning and conceptually ambitious works, aimed to create a sprawling space opera. However, the execution was marred by an overcomplicated storyline that confused audiences. The characters, including the protagonist Jupiter Jones, played by Mila Kunis, lacked depth and relatability. Instead of exploring their universe's rich political and social dynamics, the film bombarded viewers with excessive CGI and action sequences that did little to advance the plot or develop the characters. The result was a film that, despite its grand ambitions, failed to engage its audience on a meaningful level. The Dark Tower. Premise: adapted from Stephen King's beloved series. The Dark Tower follows a young boy who discovers a parallel dimension and joins a gunslinger in a battle against evil forces. Execution: the film adaptation suffered from a rushed narrative that failed to capture the depth and richness of the source material. Key plot points and character motivations were glossed over, resulting in a disjointed and unsatisfying story. The Dark Tower series is renowned for its complex world-building and intricate character arcs. However, the film condensed these expansive novels into a single brief installment, stripping away much of the nuance and detail that made the books compelling. Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey delivered strong performances as the gunslinger and the Man in Black, respectively, but even their talent could not salvage the film from its hasty pacing and superficial treatment of the plot. Fans of the series were left disappointed by the lack of fidelity to the source material. At the same time, newcomers found the film confusing and unengaging. The Dark Tower serves as a stark reminder that even the most promising premises require thoughtful and thorough execution to succeed. Tired premises well executed. Stranger Things. Premise: combining 80s sci-fi and horror tropes, Stranger Things tells the story of a group of kids who encounter supernatural forces in their small town. Execution: what makes Stranger Things stand out is its masterful execution. The show excels in character development, nostalgic yet innovative storytelling, and atmospheric world-building. Set in the 1980s, the series is a love letter to the era, skillfully weaving together horror, science fiction, and coming-of-age drama elements. Its characters, from the determined and courageous kids to the conflicted and complex adults, are richly developed and deeply relatable. The Duffer Brothers, creators of the show, balance suspense, emotion, and humor, creating a narrative that keeps viewers on the edge of their seats while engaging them emotionally. The show's meticulous attention to detail, from the period-accurate settings to the pitch-perfect soundtrack, immerses audiences in its world, making the supernatural elements feel fantastical and believable. This blend of familiarity and innovation has turned Stranger Things into a cultural phenomenon, resonating with those who lived through the 80s and new generations discovering its magic for the first time. The King's Speech. Premise: The King's Speech is about King George VI's struggle to overcome his speech impediment with the help of an unorthodox speech therapist. Execution. This seemingly mundane historical drama was transformed into an Oscar-winning film through stellar performances, an engaging script, and a humanizing portrayal of its protagonist. The film's success hinges on its intimate storytelling and attention to detail. Colin Firth's portrayal of King George VI captures the monarch's vulnerability and determination. At the same time, Geoffrey Rush brings warmth and wit to the role of the unconventional speech therapist, Lionel Logue. The screenplay by David Seidler delicately balances historical accuracy with dramatic flair, creating an informative and emotionally gripping narrative. Director Tom Hooper's focus on the personal struggles of the king, rather than the grand political context, allows for a more relatable and compelling story. The film's careful craftsmanship extends to its period-accurate settings and costumes, which immerse viewers in the era and enhance the story's authenticity. The King's Speech is a testament to how powerful storytelling and attention to detail can elevate a seemingly simple premise into a cinematic masterpiece. Conclusion. The success of a story lies not in its premise, but in its execution. Whether dealing with an original idea, a clichéd concept, or a seemingly absurd plot, the way a story is told, its character development, narrative structure, and emotional resonance, determines its impact. With its improbable setup, Ted Lasso shines as a beacon of how heartfelt storytelling and rich character arcs can transform an absurd idea into a beloved masterpiece. Similarly, The Good Place and BoJack Horseman illustrate that even the most outlandish premises can be turned into deeply engaging and thought-provoking narratives through clever writing and strong execution. Conversely, as seen with Jupiter Ascending and The Dark Tower, even the most promising ideas can falter without careful and thoughtful execution. Good premises alone do not guarantee success. They require a well-crafted narrative and nuanced characters to truly resonate with audiences. Aspiring storytellers should focus on honing their craft, developing strong characters, and finding unique ways to tell their stories. It is this dedication to execution that will captivate audiences and leave a lasting impression. Ultimately, it is not what you tell, but how you tell it that makes a story truly unforgettable. Thank you for your time today. Until next time, stay curious.